On Christmas morning 2002, a contractor in West Virginia won $314 million. At the time, the largest single lottery jackpot ever handed to one ticket on Earth. Within 5 years, almost all of it was gone. Not stolen by a con artist in one dramatic heist, not lost on a single bad investment, gone in dozens of small ordinary decisions in exactly the pattern psychologists could have predicted before he ever signed the check. His name was Jack Whittaker, and his fortune is the cleanest real-world proof you'll find of 5 myths that quietly keep ordinary people poor. Whittaker wasn't some cautionary everyman before the win. He already ran a successful construction company worth millions, with a wife of decades and grown children, and by his own account, he was already comfortable. He didn't panic spend on day one. He took the lump sum. Reports on the exact after-tax figure vary, but it's commonly put at roughly $113 million. And he did the responsible thing almost immediately. He set up a charitable foundation and pledged a real share of the winnings to it, along with churches and community groups back home. Financial advisors at the time called it a textbook example of how to handle a windfall. By every measure available in that first week, this was the best-case scenario for a lottery win, a stable, successful adult with a plan and good intentions. None of that ended up mattering. Myth number 1. More money solves money problems. Whittaker suddenly had more money than almost anyone on the planet, and his money problems didn't shrink. They multiplied. He started carrying large amounts of cash, and it was stolen from his car more than once. He was sued, robbed, and burglarized so often in the following year that local courts saw a steady stream of cases with his name attached. More money didn't buy him control over his life. It bought him exposure to a much bigger set of predators. Myth number 2. Wealth comes from one big, lucky win. A jackpot is the single largest windfall available to an ordinary person, and it didn't create lasting wealth for him, because wealth was never really about the size of the windfall in the first place. It's about what you quietly do with money every single day, for years. A fortune with no behavior behind it is just a number passing through your hands on its way out. Myth number 3. Keeping wealth takes genius-level financial knowledge. It doesn't. Whittaker didn't lose his fortune to a complicated scheme or a bad hedge fund manager. He lost it to ordinary human impulses, generosity with no limit, trust with no guardrails, spending with no plan. The people who actually keep wealth over a lifetime usually aren't smarter than everyone else. They're just more boring about money, on purpose, for decades. Myth number 4. Visible spending and giving is what wealth is supposed to look like. Word spread fast that Whittaker handed out cash freely to strangers, to family, to almost anyone who asked him directly. From the outside, it looked generous, even admirable. From the inside, it painted a target on him and on the people closest to him that never came off again. The worst of it landed on his family. His teenage granddaughter, Brandy, who Whittaker had showered with cash and gifts, died of a drug overdose in December 2004. Her boyfriend had died the same way just months earlier. By 2007, his marriage of decades had ended, the foundation had quietly wound down, and most of the $113 million was already gone. Myth number 5. Enough money buys happiness. For a brief moment, Whittaker had more money than he could have spent in several lifetimes. By his own account, given repeatedly to the press in the years after, it made his life measurably worse, not better. The money didn't invent his problems out of nothing, but it amplified everyone he already had, at a speed and a scale that ordinary income could never have reached. Here's what actually separates people who build lasting wealth from people who don't, and it has nothing to do with luck and almost nothing to do with income. It's your savings rate, the quiet, boring gap between what you earn and what you spend, held steady for decades regardless of how much you make. It's staying financially invisible, not signaling a wealth you don't actually plan to keep, the way Whittaker's sudden cash did. It's time spent invested, not perfectly timed trades, and the humility to assume you'll make ordinary mistakes with money and to build guardrails for them in advance. None of that makes for a good headline. All of it, reliably, outperforms a jackpot, because unlike a windfall, it's built to survive contact with being human. Jack Whittaker didn't need more money. Almost nobody actually does. If you want to see what else your brain quietly gets wrong about money, subscribe. Myth Brain is where the myths come to die.